Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. This definitely took more than a few minutes. We all hate customers like that. Great revenge. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Park your bike in my corral? Good luck getting it back. At the grocery store where I work, there's a large cart corral at the front of the store directly in front where you walk in the doors. This corral holds 90-plus shopping carts when full and 4 columns of interlocked metal, so you can imagine how much empty space there is when it's not full. One of my duties is to keep an eye on that corral, and when it starts to get empty, go out and refill it with carts in the parking lot. This is a time-consuming process, and while it's happening, any number of people will attempt to use the space in the corral for their own purposes. It's empty space. No one's using it, bruh. Yes, actually, I am using it. It's not for your use. So one day I'm out grabbing carts, and when I come back, a dude is literally parking his bicycle inside the corral, kickstand, helmet, and everything. I attempt to advise him that this space is not a bicycle parking area, and he snaps back with, "I'll just be a minute. Don't you touch my effing bike." Now, unbeknownst to him, I've had this problem before. That time, I moved the bike outside and continued my work. Management told me to never do this again since if I touch the bike and it's later stolen, I can be considered liable for the theft or even an accessory after the fact. So there's no way I'm touching this bike. That said, it's right in the way and I still need to get carts inside. It's at this point that I come up with a plan. This man has told me not to touch his bike, ergo, he probably doesn't want anyone else to touch his bike either. Well, I can't help with that. I proceed to gather 12 shopping carts and with a little finesse form a wall of steel around this man's parked bike without ever directly touching said bike. I use the chain locks to make them one interconnected unit. Then for the finale, I take the cart key to lock them. A quick note about the cart key. For anyone who's never worked with shopping carts before, some stores utilize magnetized wheel locks that stop the cart from leaving the store's property. I'm not exactly sure how the mechanism works without a power source in the cart, but it's damned effective all the same. Attempt to leave the property and one of the wheels locks, making the cart itself entirely impossible to move if you don't lift the locked wheel off the ground. One of my duties is to head out to the edge of the property with the cart key to unlock them. This nifty device, when placed close to the locked wheel and a button pressed, will unlock said wheel, allowing you to roll the cart back to where it belongs with ease. What a lot of people don't know is that these cart keys also have a button to lock the wheel instead. It's rarely ever used, but it does exist. So I go to fetch the cart key, making sure to arrange the cart so that there's no entrance or exit for the bike without moving them, and proceed to lock each and every wheel on each and every one of the 12 carts. Satisfied that absolutely no one is going to touch this bike, I go back to filling up the cart corral and watching out for the dude who parked the bike. As soon as I catch sight of him in line at the register, I head inside and tell my boss that I'm taking my lunch. 30 minutes of sweet freedom. So I head out to my car and drive to an A&W down the street. Silly me, I forgot to put the cart key back in the store before I left. When I get back from lunch, I'm greeted with a glorious sight. Bike dude is standing in the entranceway with milk, popsicles, and cans of frozen fruit juice, just gleefully melting and going bad in the sweet summer heat. Dude is yelling and screaming at the manager, "You think this is funny? I'm gonna sue for theft. I want a refund on my groceries," blah, blah, blah. Then he catches sight of me heading into the store and rushes to get into my face. "BD, you did this to me, you effing a-hole." Me, huh? Did what? BD, pointing to his well-protected bike, "You effing locked my bike away, you effing F. My groceries are going bad because of you." Me, with a smirk, "Oh, so you're inconvenienced because someone else parked where they shouldn't have. What a coinky-dink." At this point, my manager comes up with a half-hearted, disapproving stare. "Summon him up? You have the cart key. We can't find it, and this gentleman needs to get his bike." I put a show on of smacking my forehead and pull out the cart key. "I'm so sorry, boss. It totally slipped my mind that I had that in my pocket. Here you go." Bike dude tried to have me fired for that stunt, but it was rightfully pointed out to him that he'd parked his bicycle where it was not supposed to go, and that while my particular parking job was not company policy per se, That was where the carts were supposed to go, and he should have expected his bike to be buried by the carts. I did get a stern lecture about intentionally locking the carts to make his day worse, but my manager was trying his hardest not to laugh while he did so I think I'm in the clear. You kept his bike very safe. Good job. And our second story. You want me to use vacation time when I help you out? Several years ago, I worked 7 days on, 7 days off. I loved it. It was almost like being semi-retired. I was working opposite another person who had my same schedule. When both of us were not available, the business was forced to hire very expensive temps from national companies at about 3 times our pay to cover. They bitched incessantly about the cost and pressured us to not use our vacation time at all. I'd been working there for a year when my counterpart pointed out something. Whenever we swapped a shift, they would take away a paid vacation day from one of us because for that 2-week pay period, one of us was only working 6 days rather than 7. We challenged them on it. According to them, we were being paid based on 56 hours every 14-day pay period, and if we worked less than 28 hours a week, we weren't eligible for full-time benefits. So we stopped swapping shifts. If we were going to take a vacation day hit, we would have an actual vacation day. No more of this bullcrap. So if my partner needed time to take a kid to a tournament, nope, I'm not available. The business had to hire a very expensive temp to fill in. When I went on vacation, my partner wasn't available. They had to hire an expensive temp to fill in. When I was off with a burst appendix, expensive temp. When my partner got stuck out of town due to a snow emergency, expensive temp. When they couldn't find a temp, not my problem, it's administration's problem. So even more expensive temps. One guy shafted them for almost $4,000 a day. In the end, they paid almost twice their allotted budget for temps in the first 8 months, and the administration position that had to arrange for the temps went through 3 people in 2 years. They may or may not have understood what was going on. They never admitted it, but they only increased their moaning to us about how expensive it was. They never fixed the problem, though. Even though we talked to them several times about it, we both quit within a couple of years. So I don't know if they're still moaning to this day. I know I made sure to point out the issue to both my partner's replacement when she left and then my own replacement before I left. And our last story. You never had your car. This past Sunday, I decided to take a track day at a regionally known drag strip during a no prep event. If you're not from the car scene, just Google what is no prep drag racing for a full understanding. My partner and I took 2 pickup trucks with 2 2-car trailers with 3 cars in them, along with tools, spare wheels with tires on them, etc. I brought my 1996 Honda Civic hatchback, which, without going full car nerd, has an engine swap and a lot of work done. It's quite fast for a Honda, but really just a toy. I also brought my Nissan Laurel, which is imported from Japan and was never sold in the United States. The car is primarily a drift car, but with 30 minutes of work, it can be changed over to a drag setup. My buddy brought his 1996 Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX. We were running all day, making small wagers with those at the track, and together we were up just over $20K on the day from wagers. Around 8 p.m., with the track closing at 9 p.m., I had this jerk approach me and engage in the typical smack talk about how my cars are slow and how incredible his car is, yada yada yada. After being goaded numerous times, declining a 10K race, and really just trying to pack up for the day, this jerkhead decided to insult my wife in a rather derogatory and misogynistic way. The comments were both disgusting and about how a woman doesn't belong on a racetrack. I thought for a second before responding, then I said to our entitled jerk, "Me, since women don't belong on the racetrack, why don't you race her in the Laurel?" EP, 10K bro, that's easy money, let's go. Me, no. If you're racing her, it's gonna be for titles. Known in Hollywood as pink slips or just pinks. EP, hell yeah, I'll take your car. Starts laughing and further insulting wife to his cronies. We shook hands, pulled out the paperwork, and found a track official to hold both sets of paperwork before getting ready for the run. 1 single quarter-mile race for both cars. The tree turned green, and they blew off the line. EP pulled slightly ahead out of the gate, and you could just feel the misogynistic comments he was saying to himself as he flew down the track. About halfway down the track, wife caught up to him and surpassed him, finishing the race with enough room to parallel park an F-250 between them. Wife pulls back into our stall, smiling and laughing, excited over her win as it was only her third pass on the track for the day. I went to the staff member to collect paperwork without problem and then went over to EP's stall to collect our car. As we turned the corner into the stall, EP yelled, "F no, I'm not giving my car to a woman. She got lucky, 2 out of 3, F this, etc." All of EP's friends were laughing at him and making the her, you got beat by a girl jokes that were popular in middle school. I noticed the keys were still in the car, so I quickly reached into the car and snatched them. After grabbing the keys, I was sucker punched by EP, and I did defend myself. I didn't engage in a full-on brawl, merely defended myself after giving it one good swing. Track officials separated us, and EP started screaming to staff that I was trying to steal his car and saying he was going to call the police. You see, in my state, all bets are legal at the track, as it's no different than betting on a horse. Taxes are paid on the bet. In the event of a slip race, taxes are paid on the vehicle through the DMV. EP's threat of police held no power. EP continued to scream for another 15 minutes, not letting anyone else get a word in. Finally, the owner of the track came by and ordered EP off the property, or he would call the police for a trespass order. Owner also informed EP he was banned from the track for the rest of the year. We returned to our stall with the keys in hand and waited for EP to leave. Having no choice, EP left without the car. This morning, I was served with a $100,000 lawsuit from EP. Turns out EP had taken a $100K loan to build this race car and still owes almost all of it. According to his suit, the loan was taken in July of last year. EP not only lost the race fair and square, which he knowingly bet his car on, but decided to litigate against me. I can only assume this is due to EP's blind rage and misogyny. Before anyone asks, EP lost a 1969 Pontiac GTO with a specialty engine in it from Texas Speed and a whole lot of other engine upgrades. The engine alone retails for $45,000. Checking the prices of a stock 69 GTO, they seem to be between $60 and $70K. So I'd assume this car's worth $75 to $80. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.